This is the Barbados Today afternoon news for Friday, September 29. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. We begin with news that Labour Minister Dr Esther Byer-Suckoo is today seeking to broker a deal between management of the state-owned Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation and the Barbados Workers Union in a bid to end the ongoing impasse. This comes as workers at the Barbados Water Authority indicate that they are ready to join the protest. CBC workers today continued their third day of strike action over a pay dispute. Barbados Today's Colville Munzi reports.
Minister of Labour Dr Esther Byer-Suckoo is making a concerted effort to bring about a resolution to the protracted pay dispute at the state-owned Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, which has resulted in workers down in tools for the third straight day. This morning, workers picketed the compound, shouting slogans such as "Speak the Truth." However, speaking from the front line, General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Tony Moore, told Barbados Today that while she is aware of the minister's efforts, all remains on course for an escalation as her organization is yet to receive any word of an official meeting. In a meeting on Thursday night, the Executive Council of the BWU sanctioned the strike action by the workers, giving Moore the green light to take whatever action was necessary to resolve the issue, including calling out all BW divisions if required. This is Colville Munzi reporting for Barbados Today.
Meanwhile, General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Tony Moore, has hit back at Finance Minister Chris Sinclair's charges that she was granted duty-free concessions on a top-model car. Sinclair leveled the charges at a recent DLP meeting. But Moore fired back, saying that if the minister spent less time attacking her and concentrated on fixing the economy, Barbados would have been spared the latest downgrade by Standard & Poor's. One regional central banker is warning that the Caribbean is in need of an economic transformation. And Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Antoine, says it can be done through the introduction of a regional digital currency. He believes this can improve the Caribbean's economic fortunes. Antoine was addressing a one-day BIT seminar at the Barbados Hilton Resort under the theme, "The Future is Now, Leveraging Blockchain for Economic Transformation."
Therefore, we feel that we can make the case for an investment in technology to ensure that the global system is safe. And after what we went through, the global financial crisis, I think we all realize how important that is. So my first key message is really leverage blockchain technology for economic transformation.
Antoine says the digital currency will support innovation while keeping the financial system safe.
Get your yams and potatoes. Wait, my girl, how you want to for long?
I got how you keeping, but you don't sell the nation paper no more.
But that paper ain't selling. This month now I stop selling that. Look, one time I would have make a little dollar on the Sunday. But when Sunday night, I still trying to get the weather there.
Well, you know you can't call that the Sunday no more. You're going to call that Sunset News. At no time that news stale.
People complain that them ain't got nothing in it to read and the price keep going up all the time. A woman abused me so sick the other day, telling me that she does read Barbados Today online for free. I couldn't take that abusing soul, so I switched to my potatoes and yams.
Well, let me tell you, at pork selling, you got to raise pigs. How much for the yams?
Oh, 75 cents a pound.
But that's cheaper than that stale news. Give me...
How much you want?
£1.
Only a pound? Anyhow, these eating real good. Let me wrap them up for you. Come.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit today hit back at critics who have been accusing government of politicizing the distribution of relief supplies in the wake of Hurricane Maria. In his daily press briefing, a visibly annoyed Skerrit said government is working to ensure that everyone gets the help needed.
This talk about food supplies and partisanship with food supplies and politicians are the ones dealing with the delivery of food supplies. This is total nonsense, okay? Total nonsense. As the Prime Minister of this country, I sleep on the floor. As the Prime Minister of this country, I bathe this morning from a bucket of water. I don't eat corned beef. I don't eat sardines. So where the hell am I going to put sardines or to stack up sardines at my home or anywhere else? The supplies are coming in, there are structures, there are limitations in terms of places to store those food supplies in communities because every single home got damaged in the country. And people who are seeking to undermine the government efforts of bringing relief and bringing aid and bringing restoration of services to our country, we need to stop it. If people have complaints, I have heard of some complaints, we will address those administrative issues. We will put better structures in place to facilitate the more efficient delivery of supplies. But we can't be going out there on social media and on the radio and elsewhere and making this unfounded, baseless, malicious allegations.
The United States is scaling down its diplomatic presence in Cuba, and officials are warning citizens not to visit that country because of targeted attacks that have injured at least 21 U.S. personnel. A senior State Department official says the embassy will be reduced to emergency persons until the government in Havana can assure Washington of the safety of U.S. government personnel. U.S. and congressional officials said Thursday that Washington is crafting a plan to reduce staff from the embassy in Havana in response to an unexplained incident that harmed the health of U.S. diplomats there. The Cuban government has denied any role in the incident and is carrying out investigations. And finally, more than 60 Rohingya Muslim refugees from Myanmar are believed to have drowned when their boat capsized off Bangladesh late yesterday. They are the latest victims in what the United Nations says is the world's fastest developing refugee emergency. We get more in this report from Reuters.
How do you feed nearly 500,000 traumatized people with nowhere to go? That's the challenge for aid workers in Bangladesh right now as they scramble to help Rohingya Muslims who fled over the border escaping violence in Myanmar. Migration workers say they haven't seen anything like this in decades. So far, aid has poured in from Saudi Arabia, Malaysia and Indonesia. India has sent clothes and dried fruit, and 2 ships from China are on the way. But as the Rohingya face an uncertain future, aid workers say they need a whole lot more as they brace for another serious problem.
That's news this afternoon. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and on Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Have a good afternoon.